The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
I'm choosing to ignore the cuts and bumps and bruises. I'm cruising through these haters, leave them looking stupid. They foolish if they think they'll ever hear my conclusion. I'm through with all these part-timers and their excuses. I'm bruising eagles left and right every time I do this. I'm shooting for the top, no I'll never settle where you did. The future's in my hands, my grip will never loosen. My crew is ready to obtain the absolution, removing any doubt that we was ever fooling. Step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution. Come on, step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another killer episode of Still Toking with. Yeah, we haven't been here for a couple weeks. It's okay, though. We have a killer show tonight.
This timing was perfect, actually.
There it is again.
I missed our theme song.
That fucking voice in my head.
Two of them.
It'll never go
Oh,
away.
jeez. All right, well, let's get right to it. The flashy one tonight that is all silvery for some reason. Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
By the light of the silvery. Hello. Happy to be with. I've missed being with you guys out there, and I've missed being with my boys here. Yeah, I'm excited about today's show because it goes into stuff I really like to know about. So I'm sitting here like just open to learn and ask questions and converse with our dear friend and cohort, Jeff Holman.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I went on a journey. I was looking for aliens and big feet. I only found a rubber one.
Yeah, but what about the alien?
Yeah, that was rubber.
Oh, I thought you meant the feet.
Oh, no. Rubber go bang? Yeah, but I'm excited about tonight. I was trying to do some research on this guy. He's kind of like a Sasquatch. He's hard to find information on. It was pretty weird. I got a little bit, but we'll see what he has to say because I'm interested. So let's just bring him right in. Mr. Matt Vaughn, welcome to the show.
What's up? Great to be here, boys.
Well, thank you for joining us and taking time out of your schedule to hopefully have some fun.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be some fun.
I am jealous of your hair.
Yeah. You should be my friend. But it's a good head of hair, but look, y'all, I call it the locks of liberty. But here's the thing. I'm going to roll with this long hair until it falls off because we all know the cruel mistress of time. It won't last forever. So, and it covers up a little bit of a bald spot. You see what I'm saying? So
you use the B word. We don't use the B word on this show.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I used to have hair like that.
Me
when
too.
When it went all gray, it had to go.
Actually, I had hair like that. Actually, even longer that when I first met you,
Yes.
Jeff Holman. Yeah, and you're the reason why I cut it off because I needed a job, and you guys wouldn't give me a job unless I cut my hair.
Yeah, see? That was just me being controlling.
Yeah, well, and then I grew it back.
And you can enjoy my naturally red long hair over here, but it's not as pretty as yours, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, we're not here to talk about hair tonight. Well, maybe we are, but
Yeah, maybe.
we're not, but we are, but who knows?
Gandalf does exist.
Matt, tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about who you are.
Well, besides having a good head of hair, thank the Lord, by day, I am a psychotherapist. So I am a run-of-the-mill regular psychotherapist. I've been doing this job all of my adult life. I'm 48, April 15th, fellas. It's the only real job.
Birthday.
Thanks, y'all. It's the only real job I've ever had. And I like to say on these shows, if anybody would like a psychotherapist that is crazier than they are, then hit me up.
You have a hand, Matt. You had a hand in the air from Jeff Holman.
Oh, mine too.
Okay,
You just couldn't see it. It was lost in space.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Well, look, hit me up. I got some openings, And so I'm on the show today because I have written a book called My Cosmic Trigger: High Strangeness in Theory and Practice. So I'm also a writer and a researcher of the paranormal. I also do stand-up comedy, and I've just finished a novel that I'll be hitting y'all up to come back on to promote here later this year. And but today here I'm to talk about My Cosmic Trigger, which it's about something called high strangeness. Now, high strangeness is a subset of the paranormal, which is when two or more paranormal subjects intersect, such as UFO sightings at the same location as Bigfoot sightings. Are y'all familiar with the show Stranger Things?
Oh,
Yes.
hell yeah.
Bad final season, but I don't want to get dark of how bad.
It was okay.
I thought it was an abomination. Well, I don't want to. Yeah, it was great. It was a great final season. I loved it. The Duffer Brothers hit me up. Love to work with you.
That's better.
Yeah, sorry, boys. I like the final season so much. Yeah. Oh my God. I love that now I'm in a position where I could get in trouble for my opinions. You know what I mean? Great final season. Love Netflix. Now, Stranger Things is high strangeness. And I even wrote about Stranger Things in the book to give you an illustration. Stranger Things was originally called Montauk, which is supposedly a real thing that happened. So all of the stuff in Stranger Things supposedly happened at Montauk. Not exactly, but kind of, sort of.
Based thereof.
Right.
Say what?
Based on, sort of.
Yeah.
Loosely based on.
Right.
And according to the final season, really loosely based on.
But let's get to your book.
Final season was amazing.
Because I know too many people at Netflix. Let's get away from that.
I love the final season. I was joking before, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. They have a new season. Maybe I was thinking about the one before it. Anyway.
Now,
Mr. Mark,
you've defined one word. Please
High strangeness.
There's another word for mythical creatures that may or may not have actually existed, that cultures believe existed, but for which there is no actual scientific proof. Would you tell our friends that word?
These are cryptids,
Because-
cryptozoology. This is the study of Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, skinwalkers, things of that nature.
And how do you feel about that?
Man, I got a lot of feelings on cryptids. Here's the thing. I believe in them. What can I say? I have seen gnomes when I was in the 5th grade. That's a whole story.
I'm sorry, you saw what?
Gnomes.
Gnomes. Okay, like GNOMS. Yes. No.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Leprechauns.
Okay.
Sure, you weren't high and they were just little people.
I was in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay. I don't know what y'all are rolling with in the 5th grade. Sounds like y'all are from up north. I don't know what goes on up there, you know.
where are you from, Matt? Matt, where are you
I'm from North Carolina.
Where?
Western North Carolina, near Boone, near Asheville.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
We've all
And-
been there at one time or another.
Oh, is that right? Okay. A lot of
I'm
high
looking-
strangeness.
I
up in this,
was looking
area.
to move out there, but I'll have to question that now.
Yeah, you might want to do a little research about that.
So
Well, I
But,
did. I got land out there.
Oh, okay.
how did your interest in this first start? Does it go back to the 5th grade or even earlier?
Even earlier, it was the only subject I've ever been into. So when I was a kid, I was researching ghosts and UFOs, getting the books from the library on my own. I talk about this in my book. I even got in trouble with the the elementary school librarian, because that was during the time of the Satanic Panic. And I was trying to get books on Satanism because one of my friends was also into the paranormal. So we were like trying to research the Satanic Panic, and we got in trouble. Librarian called my mom. So it's just been a subject that I've always been interested in. In high school, it got a little more serious. I was getting on BBSs. Now, are y'all do you remember what BBSs are?
Bulletin boards?
Bulletin board services. It's the precursor to the internet. So I was calling into these paranormal UFO BBSs when I was in high school, learning about Area 51 before Area 51 was a thing. So this has been a part of my life for a long time. And the reason I decided to write the book is because nobody was buying my scripts. I couldn't get anything, couldn't get any traction with that. So I said, well, this weird stuff is getting more popular. So I'm letting my freak flag fly, coming out of the closet. And it's been quite amazing. I mean, I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking like I was on Coast to Coast. I was on OAN the other day talking about UFOs. So it's just, I can't explain how exciting it is for someone like me who's been in the closet, been a weirdo his whole life, have to kind of keep this to the side. And now it's mainstream. I mean, it's like Vance is saying they're demons and Obama's saying they're aliens. And I mean, it's amazing. There was a Bigfoot invasion in Ohio. I mean, it's all happening, fellas.
Do you believe Bigfoot is an alien?
So, okay, good question. Now, okay, so here's the thing. I talk about the high strangeness theory of Bigfoot in my book. Now, this is where it gets controversial. Now, the mainstream Bigfoot community, Big Bigfoot, as I like to call it, please, if anybody is a part of the mainstream Bigfoot community, please do not blow up my email about this. People get very fired up about it. I know it seems kind of odd to people who aren't into this, but it gets really inside baseball real quick. So the mainstream Bigfoot community believes that Bigfoot is an undiscovered nocturnal North American great ape. They point out that Jane Goodall even gave speeches at Bigfoot conferences. She was pretty open to it. She got on Jimmy Kimmel talking about it. So they want to be very sort of scientific, taken seriously. But then you have weirdos like me who come, the high strangeness people who are exploring the paranormal nature of Bigfoot, which is that Bigfoot has psychic abilities, that Bigfoot can portal. If you have to pin me down to say what I think, and here's the thing, y'all, I don't know. Okay, I'm just giving y'all my research and where the research leads. I have yet to see a Bigfoot face to face. However, if I had to guess, I do believe Bigfoot is more akin to an alien than just an undiscovered ape. My personal sort of pet theory is that Bigfoot is sort of the intermediary species to sort of get humans ready for first contact. Like it's sort of the warm up act to help us kind of wrap our heads around.
Bigfoot is the scout.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Before we get
into
before we begin, and I'm a believer here too. So none of us here are gonna wrestle with you about this.
Cool.
But I have a question. Something you've mentioned already. Aliens, paranormal, that stuff. Why does Satanism or bad energy or negativity have to be associated with this? Because I've never felt that any of these topics came from the dark side of anything. It's just part of the universe. Could you speak on that just for a minute before we start talking about aliens?
Oh yeah, good question, man. Listen, coming from the South, I can definitely speak to this. Anything that is sort of outside, sort of spiritual, paranormal, there is a tendency for people to be, say it's devilment, it's demonic. There's even subsets of high strangeness. The more you get into it, you see the little camps within camps within camps. There's a Christian-based high strangeness group, and they go around doing researching high strangeness hotspots, like literally ghost busting with the power of the Lord. No offense to that. Hey, I say bring it on. Go do that. That seems good to me. So I like to study all of it. And I'm an easy crowd, y'all. I'm very much big tent paranormal. Let's bring everybody in and have a little fun. No, these camps, inside baseball stuff. So it is a natural tendency, I think, for anything outside the norm. People are like, okay, it's devilment, it's paranormal. However, now to where my Christian paranormal researchers, I got to give them credit. The more you delve into this stuff, and I did talk about this in my book, the more you go down the rabbit hole, the more you see some demonic stuff. And, I wish it wasn't that way, but that is true. And I have my own little stories with that. I don't even want to get into that. Will be volume 2 and 3 of my book. But, the more you get into it, the more you see it. And there's an interesting phenomena. When people go down the high strangeness rabbit hole, I'll talk about this in volume 2 of my book. What's interesting is it's a very common phenomena for people to become hardcore Christians because they've seen some shit. They felt some shit. They've researched some shit. They've heard some shit. And they're like, fuck all this. I got Jesus. I got the armor of God on me. Fuck it. I don't fuck with any of it. And anything they see is demonic. It's demonic. It's demonic. It's demonic. Now, I don't know if y'all even saw. I don't know. I don't want to drop that. But I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff with this. So does that answer the question?
Yeah. How do you feel about that topic?
I think the people who see demons around every corner, and then everything that's slightly occult or paranormal is demonic. I think those people are misguided. No offense to my brothers and sisters who go that route. I think they're misguided, but I like to say this. When you study this, you see there's, for example, tie it to Bigfoot. the more you research it, there's good Bigfoot and there's bad Bigfoot. There's good cryptids and there's bad cryptids. And there's good UFOs, there's bad UFOs, aliens or whatever, So the more you get into it, the more you see that sort of good and evil vibe. So it makes sense to me that people are like, it's demons.
Now, I want to speak to your everyday job. Do you think that somebody that has a really good energy about them is going to see the good side of those things, and somebody that has a really negative, shitty attitude energy is going to see the more demonic side of things?
You're going to be more likely, I do believe, and I talk about that in my book, that if you go research this, you need to make sure you have good energy, you're praying or thinking positive thoughts, whatever your particular school of thought. However, there does seem like I said, the more you research this, the more you see that there does seem to be something that is your good intentions are going to overpower it. For example, I would not go to Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, I would not go. In my book,
I would go in a heartbeat.
Good luck.
Okay, why wouldn't you go?
Because I've heard too many fucked up, crazy stories.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm convinced, and I like to say this. I'm convinced something highly strange is going on at Skinwalker Ranch. I don't need to be convinced. I'm not an adventurous person by nature. I'm not a thrill seeker. For the right price, with Jeffrey's contacts at Netflix, I'll do a show and we'll go. Love Netflix. I'll go for the right price, but just for fun, I'm not going to where skinwalkers come through a portal. I have a lot. I mean, life is hard enough as it is, y'all. I mean,
okay, right? So if an alien ship came down and landed in your backyard, would you go with them?
Depends. So there's one idea: if a UFO lands in your backyard, run the other way. Now, however,
see, I wouldn't do that. I would not run the other way.
Well, nor would I. That's one school of thought. But the thing is, if one is landing in your backyard, you're probably just running away is not going to make
no. The first thing I would do is change my underwear. I mean, and then see what happens after that.
I mean, if one lands in my backyard, I would imagine I know them a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
They came to see you.
Maybe they're admiring your long hair too.
Or they're trying to cut it off. It could be the bad ones, man.
It could be, but I guess I'm the eternal optimist. I would welcome contact and assume that if they had the ability to come here and revealed themselves to me, because the entire topic is about beings, forces, energies that have come here that have not chosen to reveal themselves to everybody. If they're revealing themselves to me, it's like, well, I'm special. Thank you. Can I make you a cup of coffee? Let's talk.
I dig it. Look, I'm very optimistic about this stuff as well. I mean, I really am. I mean,
in your research, how far back do you think contact has gone? Is it something of the 20th century and not before, or does it just go all through time?
I think it's all through time. And one of the things so here's the thing with my book. If anybody, my book is a bit of like a encyclopedia or a textbook. It didn't start out that way, but that's how it kind of came to be. So if you want to be all up to speed about all of this weird stuff going on in the world today, I have done my best to put all of the theories, all of the research in this field in one easy place. It's got 5,000 references, something just crazy amount. So it will get you up to speed really quick. But the thing is, and I want to point this out to the people who aren't that into it, because you're hearing, heads of state are essentially we've had soft disclosure, my opinion. But the phenomena is so much weirder than just if they're little green men or not. It gets gets to the very nature of reality, and it's like a science fiction movie. X-Files is a documentary, is what I'm saying.
Love that show.
But I'm very optimistic. I lost my train of thought, y'all.
That's quite
okay.
all right.
And I'm going to take that segue right there to say to all our viewers and all our listeners, if you're interested in Matt's book or anything that we've talked about, check the show notes up above or down below, depending on when you're watching or listening to us. His links are there.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember what I was going to say. You asked about if it's been this way through time. So one of the theories that is in the UFOlogy literature is that through time, these entities change. They change shape so the humans at the time can wrap their head around it. So it was, say, angels and demons. Then it was, say, fairies. Then it was there was an airship in the late 1800s, early 1900s. There was these airships that were seen all over the U.S. Very interesting fact of U.S. history. So the theory is that was their guise at that time, and now it is the guise of saucer craft, of UFOs. That's one theory.
Is it your feeling that any entity, I'll use the word entity because I don't know what the word to use, that would come to visit are in some ways more developed than we are?
Yeah, I think they are like thousands of years above, more developed than us. And I think that is, so what I point out in my book is my theory is that so when people get involved in high strangeness, a lot of weird synchronicities start happening and a lot of weird phenomena start happening. And the question is, people ask, why is this? Like, what is the point? The research is in this field. So one theory in which I believe is this is an initiation process. All of this is to increase our consciousness so we can connect with them. Y'all know David Bowie, Starman.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe. So Starman is saying, we want to come, but we don't want to blow your minds. So how do humans get advanced enough so they can not have their minds blown? So I don't think it's necessarily like they don't want to, they're evil. They don't want to, it's how they would freak us out. If they're thousands and thousands of years more advanced, I mean,
it's almost like
it's almost show?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's almost like the prime directive from Star Trek to not interfere with a culture's growth.
Yeah, and there's a whole rabbit hole regarding Gene Roddenberry. I don't know if y'all have heard of that one. That's a fascinating.
Yeah, I have.
With the
I want to throw something out there and get your opinion on it, because I'm a believer that the human race is actually an alien race that was put here in its infancy to grow and learn, and we're nothing more than an experiment from an alien race to see how we develop.
Man, y'all were really keyed into this stuff. What's up?
That's why you're here.
Been. Oh yeah, I always have been. But that's my
what's
belief.
up.
Right.
Listen, I'll say this: it looks to be that something like that, and that is a not too deep cut in this field, but that's one of the more highly strange theories. But look, here's my thing: we have former congressmen that are literally saying that there were, he was briefed on alien hybrid breeding programs. So that
was the next question I was going to ask you.
Yep.
Is it your belief from your research that governments, plural, because it can't just be ours, that governments have either been contacted or have had some sort of seeing, hearing, where high echelon governmental people know a whole lot more than we are being told as a citizenry?
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's very compartmentalized. That's what it looks like.
In black, they do exist.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I mean, it really does, y'all. And it looks to be there. I mean, one of the theories in this field is that there is a breakaway civilization, that a group that has this technology that exists independent from us. Now, see, this is the thing with to point this out to people, with the alien UFO disclosure in Congress, and this is one of the things that came out. Even AOC, and I like to point that out because this is a bipartisan thing here. You know, I saw her give one of her little live streams. I saw it with my own eyes, and she was explaining to her constituents why, because people were criticizing them for wasting time on UFOs or whatever in Congress. But she was saying, look, and this is the bugaboo of the whole thing. There's trillions of dollars that are being siphoned off into these black programs, and the theory is that they've used it to create a whole civilization independent from us.
And I would believe that.
Yeah, I believe that.
All right. So
Yeah,
can I switch things up a little bit? We've been talking about the alien things and the Bigfoot, but what about, the ancient creatures? I'm talking, the dragons, the mermaids, stuff like that. How does that all fit in? All the mythical creatures, the unicorns.
I don't know much about the whole dragon thing. I was just seeing somebody online talking about the dragon theory. One theory is that this is like, these stories are leftover stories of some race that was using genetic experiments and fucking around with different creatures. And that's sort of, humans have remembered this.
Dragons are in all cultures all over the planet. Different shapes and forms and sizes, but
right,
they are.
Yeah, I've never understood why people don't just accept, all right, at some point dragons existed. We had all of these dinosaur type creatures. A dragon is just another kind of that kind of creature. So why make it into a myth just because?
Yeah. And one thing I point out in my book, y'all might know this, and this is what the mainstream Bigfoot researchers point out, the mountain gorilla was a myth up until like 1920 or something. People in the region told stories about it, and the scientific whatever community was like, that's a myth. There's not big ass monkeys up there. So everything is a myth. Everything's a myth until it's proven true.
Sometimes it's a myther. A little psychic humor. Come on, guys.
I didn't say anything. I just shook my head. That's all I
Do
did.
you specialize in one sort of psychotherapy, or do you have a specialty, or is it broad-based what you do?
It's somewhat broad-based. I specialize in sort of nuts and bolts. I like to work with people who are new to therapy, who I fancy myself very good at getting people up to speed, who are new to the process, explaining complex stuff in down-to-earth, funny ways. That's one of my specialties. I'm a certified Imago couples therapy therapist, certified in that, so I can do couples counseling. And also I do like to work with people who've had highly strange experiences, and that's one of the things I'm wanting to do with this book and pivoting in my practice. I'd like to eventually just work with people who have had weird experiences, because the thing is, with high strangeness and the paranormal, people have these experiences and it destabilizes them. I mean, it is a cliche in this high strangeness area of people going crazy due to this. So you see people, they go, completely psychotic and it destroyed their life. Or you become hardcore Christian. No offense. So I'm offering that to help people navigate it, so they can have a higher consciousness, a more positive life than it just destroying their life, and trying to help people make sense of that. And that's what I'm hoping to continue to specialize in.
I like that. I like that.
I do too.
I'm one of those
Oh, yeah.
people that I've seen shit. I mean, I think everybody up here has at one point in time seen something, whether it was paranormal or whatever. But I just kind of go, okay, that happened. I can't control it. Cool. Move on.
Yeah, Matt, you'd have a field day with me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
He would fucking drain your bank account. You'd be there for forever.
Do you talk about it on this show?
Yeah. You can ask questions if you'd like, but this is about you. No, I've had out of body experiences. I have.
Hey, listen, sleeping with Freddie Mercury does not count as an out of body experience.
No, that was an inner body experience. I'm talking about out of body experiences.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
No, seriously now. No, I've had out of body experiences. I've had psychic phenomenon happen around me multiple times. I am an empath. I have dealt with energies that were not human. And I believe in all of it because I've come across so much of it. None of it has frightened me ever. But I'm an unusual man, just for lots of reasons. I'm an unusual man, the good and the bad. So my interest in this is not just, we have a show. My interest is, I believe in these things, but all of my interactions and experiences have been, the bottom line was positive, even if in the moment it might have been a little weird or I was going through a bad time, but the bottom line was always positive. So there's very little, Matt, you would bring to the table where I would go, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't exist. No, that's yeah, I believe it could happen. I'm just surprised there isn't, and this goes to the other side of what you're talking about, more scientific proof of these things. Or do you believe that there is and it's being held away from us?
I mean, science. Here's the thing. I am, as I like to say, I am not in the convincing business. And I made that very clear in the book because the book was already 400 pages. And if I'm going into and trying to convince, listen, I mean, how do you convince people about, all right, so Bigfoot is psychic and it portals in and out and it's trying to prepare humans for first contact, and there's alien breeding programs, and there's a breakaway civilization and a battle between good and evil. I mean, what? Like, how are we convincing? Who are we convincing? So I think the convincing, what I say in the book, I encourage people into this to pump the brakes on trying to convince. Because I think this stuff is beyond belief. This is what I can bring as a psychotherapist. The truth, the human mind is not set up for the truth. Quite the opposite. On a mundane, I hate the truth. You understand? On the mundane level and a big level. So I don't think there is any sort of amount of proof that will change.
No. I think you misunderstood my question. I didn't mean let's prove it. I just meant, is there some proof out there that for whatever reason is being because I believe top echelon people know more than we are being told, and that's fine.
Oh yeah,
if they're protecting us, God bless. But I'm saying, do you think there is the scientific basis for some of this, but it's just not being shared?
Oh yeah, at those high levels, I would imagine. I mean, that's where the reverse engineering, the craft. I mean, so one of the things I've been talking about and going on these podcasts is, and this is one of I like to remind people who are sort of new to the UFO disclosure, the idea of UFO disclosure. One of the reasons, the theories of why it's kept secret is because of the technology behind it, that the technology, the propulsion systems behind the craft. Like y'all probably all heard about those 9 scientists that have mysteriously gone missing or died or whatever, who were working on this supposedly technology. So that is the one of the theories behind this, of why it's not disclosed. It's not that if there are or are not little green men from Mars. It is because these little green men didn't get here on gasoline. They got here on some sort of exotic propulsion system.
It's all about money on that side.
Yeah.
You bring
See,
up something I've always
I was
wanted
gonna-
to ask.
I was going to say it's more about mass hysteria.
Nah, it's about money. It's about money.
I mean, it's about a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, like, and that's the thing. I'm not one of those UFO researcher people who, like, there's a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth in the community. Like, since I was a kid in high school, y'all, the goal was disclosure. And now it's happening, and the UFO community is like, it's a psyop. They're not telling us the full truth. And so I don't fault, I mean, especially any governmental or groups that might have guns pointed at my head. I don't, but I don't fault. I mean, how do you disclose this? How do you introduce this to the world? It's a very tricky thing. I'm fine with the slow disclosure, the slow roll. I think
well,
that's
even
a
in
good
today's
approach.
world, you can't even bring one on television to talk to the people, because everybody would be like, "Oh, that's just AI today."
I know. I mean, no one's going to believe it.
No one would believe it anyway.
I want to ask you a question that's like not terribly important, but but curiosity on my end. Why is it always little green men from Mars? Why is that the stereotype? Where does that come from?
Marv the Martian.
Yes.
Marvin the Martian. Yeah.
Well, it's a good question. And the theory is it comes from the Hopkinsville Goblins case, where in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, their people claimed that these little green men besieged their farmhouse. It was in the news. And as far as I know, that is where the term came from, little green men.
I thought it was from the Flintstones.
No, that's way.
They would have got it from them.
I was personal friends with the Great Gazoo, so you know. No, Harvey Korman and I were good friends. Who did the voice of the Great Gazoo?
Oh, cool.
But seriously, it has to go before World War II or just at, because during World War II, when there was sabotage, they would refer to the gremlins are here sabotaging us. So that term and the idea of little green goes at least just before World War II. I'm just curious why is that the paradigm? Because there are folks, in case you didn't take science in school, zillions of galaxies in our universe, almost too many to be counted. And then there are infinite number of universes out there. So why is that one thing when an entity could be almost anything our imagination could come up with or beyond our imagination?
You want to know why? Because it simplifies it.
I was going to say association.
It just
And
simplifies
it's derogatory too. It's to belittle. So I'm bringing back the little. Nobody says that anymore. So I'm bringing it back. Us saying little green men. You know, littlegreenmen.com. Netflix show. I love Netflix.
So
Netflix.
Matt, you're going to break your back bending over backwards, not to hurt anybody's feelings here. So it's okay to have an opinion. Really, it is.
I mean, I thought the final season of Stranger Things was sublime.
That's why I watch Amazon Prime.
So you were talking about proof and actually convincing people that these things are real and blah 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 blah, and it's all theory. Okay. When I get into a conversation with somebody because I'm really high or for whatever reason, and we get into this very philosophical conversation about aliens and creatures and all this stuff, I don't want to be convinced that they're real. Convince me why you think they're not, is how I approach it. because I'm one of those that believe everything is possible. And it's up to
Right.
you to convince me and
Yeah.
prove to me that it's not.
I think all three of us are on the same page with that.
I
Pretty
mean, and
much.
the thing is, here's the thing, not to alarm the more skeptical listeners out there. The Overton window is blown wide open, and hold on to your britches, skeptics, because the skeptical sort of stance is becoming even. How do you maintain it? It's literally been disclosed that the government has said there's aliens of some sort.
Problem with that is nobody believes what the government says anyway. So
That's true.
Do you have any ideas
That's
or
true.
thoughts about specifically, since you mention it so often, Area 51, like what exactly did they find there?
Area 51 is not my I'm not a specialist in Area 51. I would assume they have some, they're just studying the craft. I would assume. I mean, so I can speak to the theories on these bases. I mean, so the theory is that there's certain bases where they study this technology, and there's a whole subsection of this about deep underground military bases. So that there's all kind of stuff being done deep underground, studying this stuff. I mean, a former congressman said that he was told there was hybrid breeding programs going on. So I would imagine what's going on would melt our faces off. I don't think we could, it's if X-Files is a documentary, I mean, how do you wrap your head around that?
Right.
Acceptance.
Right.
When you stop fighting it, it's easy to accept.
I guess so. I mean, what can we say? It's real. All right, everybody. All right, skeptics. Okay, X-Files was based on real shit. Sorry. Okay, don't shoot the messenger.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
And there is absolutely nothing at Area 51. Area 51 was just a ploy. It was a cover. It was to make people focus on
Right.
something while it's going on over here.
Yeah, at Area 41.
Open up
exactly.
the sleeve, presto.
I mean, it's probably not there now. I mean, if everybody focuses on it, I mean, but I would imagine there's a lot of Area 51s.
Probably.
Matt, in your field, what you actually do for a living, I know you cannot mention names, you cannot mention specifics. Have you come across patients who came to you and in the course of their therapy, it comes out that they've had these kinds of experiences? He raises his eyebrows because he just gave me the answer is yes. All right. Thank you.
Right.
So here's the thing. I will say this. If I hadn't have heard so much stuff, I don't know if I would have come out of the closet with this. It is way more normal than people want to believe.
Yeah.
And the shit I have heard, Lord help us.
I used the word awareness earlier. I really believe it's a matter of awareness. If your awareness is opened, then all kinds of things can happen. I believe whatever my experiences have been, and literally, Matt, we could spend hours and hours talking about my experiences.
He gets paid for that.
I get paid for that. Yeah. Well, he gets paid.
He gets paid for that.
Yeah, but I also get paid for that for talking about it.
I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it.
Off camera, we'll talk. No, I'm off my where was I going with that?
I'm good at this tonight.
So if your awareness is opened and anything becomes possible, small things. There are many animals I can talk to. Not in words, in pictures. There are animals who will trust me like no one because I deal with them as another creature who has a mind. Babies who don't talk, I can converse with them. Because once I had one experience was like, oh, no kidding. That kid understands what I'm saying. Then I was open to the idea that babies, before they can talk, completely understand English and wish they could converse. And if you just sort of align your energy, because I believe energy is the operative word here for a lot of this stuff. And I absolutely have had experiences with people who have passed away.
I had that weird experience too, and then I was in front of a fucking mirror at the last second. It was really weird. Matt's just like, what?
I think I get it. I think I
got
get
it.
now.
I was just waiting for everybody else to catch on.
I think I got it.
Why do you think I turned my back to it?
Yes. So was fifth grade your first awareness? Is that about when for Matt the awareness opened up?
So okay, I had one of my earliest memories as a human is having a paranormal experience. I must have been 4, and it happened a couple times, and it would be in the hypnagogic state when you're going to sleep, and I would hear this sort of almost like angelic or computer voice, like sort of metallic. It sounded metallic, and it was so odd. I was young, but it was odd enough that I still remember having the thought, oh, that's weird. And then it happening at least twice. And I remember thinking, oh my God, that weird thing is happening again. Now, some people talk about that metallic sort of angelic voice. Philip Dick, the science fiction writer, talks about that. So that is one of my early experiences. But when I saw the gnomes in 5th grade, we assumed they were human little people. And only did I start researching that it could be gnomes is when I was in high school. The Witch Lady of Morganton had a self-produced VHS tape, and she talked about the legends of the Cherokee little people. And me and my friend were like, oh my God, the from 5th grade. So that sort of opened my mind up that there might be a high strangeness element here. But it's interesting that woman, the Witch Lady of Morganton, was the last witch that was prosecuted in the United States on witchcraft laws in the 70s. It's a fascinating story. There's a documentary about her on YouTube.
So how do you think deja vu plays a part in all of this?
The more I research this stuff, the more I think there's all kind of theories about timeline disturbances. The more you get into it, the more like heady and weird it gets with that. I think there's something to that. I've had some weird stuff. The Mandela effect. I always say mandala, and it drives my wife up the wall.
Yeah, the Mandela effect. Yeah.
And the mandala effect, I call it sometimes. Yeah. So I think there's something to it. I mean, the more you get into it, the more. Listen, y'all, I like to say, I believe at this point in 2026, I'm willing to consider everything but flat Earth. No offense, flat Earthers. Please don't.
You are the most apologetic human being I've ever met in my entire life.
Jeffrey, listen, I'm such a, like, my personality, I don't like conflict, but the amount of hate and weird stuff I get with this stuff, like, it's freaky, man. I got my first stalker. Thanks very much, fellas.
You're welcome.
We figured out who it was. Like, the amount of weird hate, like, listen, I'm just a humble psychotherapist, researcher. Please don't send me weird hate and rants.
We found that if you get that weird hate mail and those weird freaked out rants, then you're doing something right. You're doing something right.
Agree.
You caught somebody's attention. You got somebody's attention. They didn't necessarily agree with you, but you're doing it right. So what we do is we go, thank you. Next.
Right. I wanted to ask you, Matt, have you ever watched the documentary called The Hollow Earth?
No, but I love Hollow Earth stuff.
It was fantastic, and the theories behind it are spot on, and it would be right up your alley.
Well, one of the things that's come out with the UFO disclosure in the government, I believe Tim Burchett, the congressman, was talking about. He was told about civilizations under the earth, under the sea. Now, here's the thing. People are very skeptical of the government these days, with good reason, of course. However, if it's going to be hard to sort of accept what's being disclosed by the government unless you have been tracking this. I've been tracking this literally my whole life. So when I hear a congressman talking about an alien hybrid breeding program, I've been considering that idea for 20 years because it's been in the research, it's been in the literature. When they talk about ancient civilizations under the sea, that's in my novel that I wrote. So it's going to be hard if you're not sitting with this. Here's the thing. I don't know if people can accept this fully if you haven't been tracking it for a number of years. And it sounds like all y'all have, but most people have not.
Do you
It's been going
believe
on
that?
for thousands of years? I mean, look at the Minotaurs. That's a breeding thing.
And centaurs and
Centaurs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that goes back a long, long time.
do you believe there is any reality to the theory of Atlantis, that there used to be?
Dude.
Yeah.
I fuck with Atlantis and Lemuria. That's because it's interesting. I wasn't hardcore into Atlantis, but I'm big on following the research, following the trail. And as I finished this book, Atlantis kept popping up in the research. So I definitely think those ancient civilizations, there's truth to it.
One of my favorite fictional characters comes because I'm an enormous Superman fan, especially the Silver Age of Superman. In fact, I'm considered an expert in it. And his college girlfriend is, you said Lemuria. Her name is Laurie Lemaris, and she lives in Atlantis. And they brought in the entire culture of Atlantis into the Superman comic books, and they wrote it brilliantly and interestingly. Written by the guy who created Superman, who came back to the books and created a second set of just incredible characterizations and things. Obviously, Jerry Siegel did his homework and believed in it because he wrote about it so brilliantly.
Right.
Look, I have a Quasar comic right here.
Yeah.
These boys write comic books. You should have one of theirs.
Y'all write comic books?
Well,
Yes.
it's a novel series that turned into a comic book series that turned into a live action TV series that we were filming, and we have an animation.
Yeah, I'm an
And that's
expert.
That's how the
but
show started. Yeah.
But these guys actually do it. I just talk about it.
Oh, that's the word y'all come from. Okay, that's what's up. Nice.
But speaking
It's not
of
aliens or anything, though.
speaking of books,
Well, there's a whole high strangeness. There's a guy who wrote Gods Wear Spandex or something. I forget his name. Chris Knowles.
ours is
no,
more
we get zombie tie.
weed smoking zombies. So, but it's a medicinal aspect. So we attacked the medicinal aspect side of cannabis to cure zombieism.
Okay.
It was a stupid fucking idea 8 years ago that
And it's still a stupid fucking idea, but it's
very
it just
popular.
exploded and it just snowballed into a bunch of different shit, including this show.
Cool. Cool.
This whole show, this whole platform show started right before the pandemic because of a friend of ours who's a second generation Disney legend. He actually created The Little Mermaid for Disney. And we just put him on a show like this, and then the pandemic hit and we decided to keep going, and 7 seasons later we're talking to you.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Okay.
I wanted to say, speaking of books, what is the name of your bookie? I know we know it, but we're later in the show. I want you to plug the book again, if you don't mind.
It's My Cosmic Trigger: High Strangeness in Theory and Practice. You can get it on Amazon, and if you want to follow my up-to-date writing, I have a Substack called Solace of the Wake.
And again, folks, you can find that information in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. So we are getting close to time. And we know how Mr. Holman, if he doesn't get his dinner, turns into that fucking Snickers commercial. So, and I don't know why it's... Maybe Snickers should sponsor us. You know, then you could have a Snickers during the show and we could keep going. I'm just saying.
I love the Snickers candy bar. I'm a big fan of the Snickers candy bar.
So Snickers and Netflix, folks.
Yeah, there you go.
Any organization with money or power, I love it. Support it.
Matt, you are the best kiss up I've ever met in my entire life. Really,
right,
really.
right. That's all part of the psychotherapy. See how he did that? He planted those little seeds
right
in your brain without you even knowing that he did it. He's good. He's good. But with that being said, Mr. Holman, do you have any last questions for our amazing guest this evening?
Yeah, I might have one or two.
I figured you would.
Well, my first question, I'm going to go back to the mermaids. Do you believe that they are a violent creature and like nasty in nature, like some of these movies depict?
Okay, I don't. I'm not a big mermaid. Cryptozoology is not my wheelhouse. But I will say this: the more you research cryptozoology, it appears it intersects with the fairy kingdom. So fairy kingdom is elves, gnomes, leprechauns, Bigfoot, mermaids, dragons. There's a whole sort of, that's where the Celtic myths come from. That whole thing, that they live in some sort of parallel dimension to Earth's, a little in Earth, a little not in Earth. And when you research that, you do see there's some in the fairy community that are evil, some are good. This is where the goblins are traditionally bad, and then
they go both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I may I interrupt just for a laugh. Many years ago, there was a show called The Hollywood Squares, a game show where celebrities are asked questions by my friend Peter Marshall, may he rest in peace. And Paul Lynde was almost always the center square. And they had special questions for Paul because there was always a comedy answer. And he said, Paul, between fairies and elves, who was the one who was supposed to be really good looking? And Paul looks into the camera and goes, well, I always went for the fairies.
Nice. I used to watch Hollywood Squares.
I was going to say, we're all over the age of 40. We know what Hollywood Squares is. Oh, you were explaining to the viewers. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Anyway, I just laughed my ass off the first time he did that. I must have been a early adulthood when that question was asked. I just thought that was a very, very funny response. I just thought I'd throw a little humor. It landed like a thud. I'm sorry. I hoped there would have been a laugh there, but there wasn't.
There was. We all laughed. It was all laughing with ESP. You should have picked up the energy.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot were laughing in the woods.
Okay,
So-
Jeff, you had a
and,
second question.
I
Go
got
ahead.
one. Yeah, I want to ask my standard question. Are you a dog guy or a cat guy?
Wow, personal question.
Oh,
Can't
I'm
answer that.
sorry.
Can't answer that. That's too controversial. Gun to head, cat. I'm a cat guy.
Okay. Yep. As
Very
am
good.
I have cats. Jeff has both of them. That's why he asks.
Yep, I'm both. I go both
So-
ways. Cats
Oh,
or
jeez.
dogs.
Cats are like too friendly, man. I mean, dogs are too friendly. I mean, it's like, come on, relax, dogs.
Right. Cats don't hump your leg. Just saying.
True.
They won't lick your balls either.
No.
I, on the other hand, am happy to do both. So
Mr. Mark, do you have a last question for this amazing guest?
yeah, I really do. It's a serious question. The therapy end of your life. Do you feel humans have access to enough therapy to help them? Or do we need to rethink how we think of therapy to make it so that insurances cover more? And, I've met people like they get a 10-minute therapy session once a month. That's all their insurance is going to cover. It's like, I can't introduce myself in 10 minutes. Never mind, talk about a problem. What is your view on, do we need to make mental health help better? And if so, briefly, how could we do it?
Oh man, I am very much a believer in psychotherapy and mental health. I'm very much, the more the better. And yeah, our society would be a lot better off if we had more access to it. I mean, talk about high strangeness. It just, in my practice, the amount of stress people are under these days is really just off the chart. I do feel a little bit like the little Dutch boy with his finger in the dam. And when I was coming up, I'm old enough that when I was coming up in grad school, there was this notion that some people didn't really need therapy because they were affluent. They really didn't need it. And they were sort of taking the resources from other people. But boy, that idea to me is just gone way out the window because everybody is just so stressed to the max. Everybody can benefit from it. I've utilized it myself. I will continue to utilize it on and off throughout my whole life. I cannot recommend it enough for people. Any way you can get it. If you have the time and energy and the resources, I cannot recommend it enough to get you a therapist, talk to them.
I think that's
answer the question.
That's only one side of the problem, though. The other side is, I think people just in general don't want to see therapists.
It's hard. It sucks.
It's one of those things that it's over the years, it's like, oh, you see a therapist? What are you, a fucking psycho? You know what I mean? So that's been kind of bred into people over generations.
Yeah, because in my mind,
anyway,
if you have a problem and you don't see a therapist, you become a fucking psycho.
I stand in front of the mirror and I psychoanalyze myself. It seems to work, but maybe not.
I mean, I highly recommend it to people if you've never done it to give it a shot. One of the jokes I have is that psychotherapy is for people who have people in their life who refuse to go to therapy. So everybody is going to see me because they have somebody in their life who refuses to do it. It's just a conversation. It's just a one-sided conversation where the practitioner is just focused on helping you. And people say, well, that's what friends and family are for. And I'm like,
don't get me wrong. I did it and I did it. So,
have you met my friends and family? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You need that person that is not part of your circle to see the whole picture.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an all of the above person for therapy stuff and for paranormal stuff. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your therapist if you have the time and energy. But yeah, it's quite desperate out there with the, if I was put in charge by the psychic Bigfoot, I would make more mental health resources available.
Part of the problem today is too many people have closed minds, and without an open mind, you're not gonna develop anything anywhere anyhow. Your mind is like an umbrella. It only works when it's fucking open.
And people need to tie a bow on this. People need to prepare themselves because your mind is getting ready to be torn open. It's only April in 2026. Buckle up, everybody. I believe it's about to get a lot weirder.
Yeah. Well, I tell people, some things need to be believed to be seen. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's
absolutely
right. So I generally don't ask a question at the end. I kind of just do our thing. But you are involved in all kinds of things, from your daily work to the paranormal to the higher strangeness to artwork. What is the one thing that Matt Vaughn really geeks out about?
Oh, I am a Civil War buff. I'm an amateur Civil War historian.
Fucking cool. I like that. I like that. That is
So I
really
geek
cool.
out. I geek out on the battles. I was caught by my wife. I was watching a deep dive on YouTube of the battle, the Overland campaign. It was like an hour-long video about 30-minute engagement. So I definitely geek out on the minutia of the American Civil War.
That is cool.
My late partner Joel would have loved you. He loved Gettysburg so much. He had the tombstone names memorized.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm a huge, I love history, but I'm more military style history. So Civil War all the way up, I love, it's just one of my things. So, one of these days we'll have to come down and connect, because I would love to do like a Civil War trek with you. That'd be cool as shit.
Cool. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. My family has a spoon or fork from Stoneman's Cavalry. Okay.
Ooh, very cool. Very cool. So, folks, we want to thank Matt for hanging out with us tonight. So, Matt, you're not doing all these things that you like to do. Where do you like to interact with your fans on the social media aspect? Do you have like a Facebook or Instagram that you like to use the best, or?
It's my Substack. That's where I'm focusing all of my social media on Substack. So it's salusofthewake.substack.com, SALUS of the wake.substack.com. That's where you can interact with me.
There you go, folks. You heard it here. And again, if you want to get any of Matt's awesome information and books, just check the show notes. Mr. Jeffrey Mark, same question for you, sir.
Jeffrey Mark, as it's spelled under my face here, or if you're just listening, GEOFFREY, Mark, MARK, on Facebook, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz on Instagram. Those are the two best places to get me, and I answer everybody. So please reach out. Mr. Holman.
Toking.com. Toking with the Dead on Facebook. You can Google Jeff. You might get a bunch of results. Just Google Jeff. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and follow that. The link you can find right on our website. Again, that's still toking.com. Matt, thank you. This was a fantastic, right up my alley kind of an interview. I appreciate that. Thank you.
See, I told you I'd save a good one for when you got back from vacation.
Well, yeah,
So,
I just spent a week and a half out in Arizona looking for these fucking critters.
hey, don't talk about Jeffrey Mark like that.
Yeah, because you found this.
I
Never
found
mind.
you. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Hey, and very quickly, I forgot we have another show, folks. Just for those of you who like music, let's remind folks that every week we have GPE presents. Jeffrey Mark plays Ella. I play the music of Ella Fitzgerald on a theme, and I give you insider stories about how the music was made, etc., etc. Show can be found on every platform, channel, network. However you find this show, you'll find that one. And our buddy Ben produces it, and our buddy Jeff sprinkles his love all over it. So if you want to listen to some good music and hear some really insider stories, please, please, please come listen and watch.
I was curious because you missed that when I went to you, and I was like, oh, he did.
Because we were running over time and I didn't want to take up the time. And I said, no, you got to do it. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, we still got 30 seconds before Jeff turns. We might actually see a manifestation live tonight, folks. But no, in all seriousness, we want to thank Matt for taking the time out of his busy schedule to come hang out with us and hopefully open your mind before it gets blown. No,
I even wore my Bigfoot shirt just for you, Matt.
I noticed that. Yeah, I love it. Really enjoyed it, y'all. That was so fun. Would love to do it anytime. Y'all are doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, Matt, hang out for a moment after we finish the show.
Okay.
So to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We are out of here.
Have a happy.
Peace.
So come on.